Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to another episode of Instagram Marathon, and hope you all can hear me and see my screen. If you can't see my screen, please let me know, and I will make sure you can see it. Okay, can you see my screen? Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you. Welcome to Content Marathon. Hopefully, the internet everywhere is working fine today and everybody is able to participate fully. Today's session is what you're all here for, content generation. So we are finally at content generation, and my objectives for today are simple: help you or teach you how to generate a content map for your brand. Fantastic, awesome. So today's topic is on content generation. My task for today is simple: help you generate at least 1 year of content and teach you how to do it. How I generate content for different platforms. So the content you're generating today is not just for Instagram, but they are what I will call your power content. Content that will make you stand out in the crowd, content that will make you visible, make people see you as an expert. What I would describe as a value added content. And when we get into Instagram proper, we will talk about value added content in more details. But just think about content generation. Oh, I can see Abisola and Omopola. You shouldn't have favorites. I always say this, but if we're going to give prizes to the people that are here every time on office hours, classes, live, interacting, engaging, every single thing, we have Omobola and Abisola always participating. So I'm glad that you're all here. Someone told me, "Oh, DK, I've never missed an episode," but I am just one of those silent listeners. For the silent listeners, I'm saying hello. How are you? Hope you're having an amazing day. So I'm just going to give it like a minute before I start. But like I said, today is about content generation. Most people are afraid of content. When they hear content, they're like, "Oh, I just don't do content. Content doesn't come so easily to me. I struggle when I think about what to post." And it's the opposite for me. Content is like the easiest thing for me to generate. I could sit down and start thinking about ways to create content. So I have come up with 6 to 10 ways that you can create content that will make your brand stand out. And it's not just content of posting pretty pictures about yourself or your books or a video where you're talking, but it's about making sure that you are very, very knowledgeable when you speak, knowledgeable about your industry, knowledgeable about the products you sell, knowledgeable about everything that has to do with your brand. Remember, we are creating brands and we are competing not just with people within our vicinity, we are competing on a global scale. How can you create content that will make you compete on a global scale and be the best version of yourself? We are not just posting to most of the time people just post for posting's sake. I am someone that doesn't believe in doing that for brands. Sometimes I can just post a picture of myself and that's just for my own personal page. Yes, I can do that. But as a business page, there should always be context to your content. There should always be context. Every content you're posting should have a, will I say, a task or a goal. But not to worry, you will get it in more details once we start speaking. I think I'm going to get into slide 1 in 1 second because we said we're going to give people 5 minutes to join us. But anyway, let me know where you're listening from and what you think about content. What's your approach to content? Okay, share with me. How do you see content? Do you like posting content? Do you find it easy coming up with what to post on your website or on your blog? Is it easy for you to write something when you have to post anything regarding your brand? Or is it something that, oh, I'm just not interested, I'm going to outsource it? Let me hear from you in the comments. If you love content, write love content. If you don't like content, just write content. That means you're content with content. That would be awesome. Hi, Wilson. Wilson is listening from Lagos. So, Wilson, tell us what you do. Do you love content? Hey, Oluchi. Welcome, Oluchuku. Lovely to have you. Content is life. I like that. Content is life. Content is everything. I'll be using the word content a lot. But as I said, okay, I think I have sent it to her already. I have sent it to her. So just call her and tell her I have sent it to her. Comfort. Sorry, I'm sending a message to someone. Just find out if she has received it. I don't even know where my phone is at this point in time, but I have sent her the link. Thank you so much. Okay, so Comfort, let us know whether you love content or you are like, when you hear content, you're like, no. When you think about content, let's try something else. Put an emoji that comes to your mind when you think about content. A GIF or an emoji. What comes to mind? A GIF or an emoji. Let me see. I want to get some new emojis today. Let me see if I can get one or two lovely emojis that I can steal. When content comes to mind, what emoji comes to your mind? Is it a laughing emoji? Is it a GIF that says thumbs up or bravo? Is it a GIF that you're hiding your face and you're like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. It's always great when we think about our relationship to things make us hate or break these things. Okay, so Abisola, Instagram business pages. Yes, we will get to Instagram business page when we are doing our Instagram course. So if it's your Instagram business page, sure, we can guide you on that. I will let you know how to do that. That's not a problem. If it's a Facebook business page, because your Instagram page should be should be linked with your Facebook page. We will look into all that when it comes to this. But yes, we will try our best to ensure that everybody at least gets a little. What emoji is that? Oh my goodness, Abigail! Oh. Okay. Yes, we're going to do something. And then today's session is going to be a bit different also. I would like you to be filling the documents as I'm talking. There's going to be a document I will share with you now because I want to share that with you. And I would like you to fill as we talk. And I will explain why. There will be some areas that I will mention that will just be easy for every single person. But remember, you're creating for a specific brand. If you know the brand you're creating for, when it comes to these areas, if you're already great with answering questions, you'll find out that the document I'm talking about is already on the Facebook group. But I put a Microsoft Word version. I put a Microsoft Word version on the Facebook group because most people are requesting for the Microsoft Word version. But however, I'm going to put a link to the Google Doc version, and I will ask Comfort or Susan to please help me post it in the comment section also. So what I want you to do is, I don't want you to fill the link I'm sending to you. I want you to make your own copy, and I'll show you. I'll make a copy for you so you can see what I mean by make your own copy. I want you to make your own copy, and when you make your copy, work with the copy that you have created. So you're supposed to click on, because I've noticed most people send requests to me during the trainings to send them the give them access to or after the training, to give them access to the Google Docs. The Google Doc is just one major file. Everybody has access to the same file. So if you fill this one, everyone is going to see what you're filling. And most of the things we are filling are private and personal for our brands. So if you're looking for I'm just showing you my screen. If you're looking for the task, I have all of them under assignments. I have a document called Content Creation Framework that I have already uploaded today. So that should be the content generation framework. I uploaded a Google Doc version. I'm going to upload a Microsoft Word version for you now because I want you to feel that version. And I will just call it content generation. So please go to this part of the unit. I understand people struggle to find the videos afterwards. So before I start, I'll walk you through how to find past videos for those that are joining us for the first time today because of work. And I would ask you to, I'll tell you what to do to find it so you do not have difficulty looking for the documents you need. So go to Unit 9 and pick up your copy of this document, the Word document. And can Susan or Comfort, let me put the Google Doc link for this document there. So everybody should work with Google Docs. So if you get the Google Doc link, I want you to please click on File, click on Make a Copy, and then make your copy. Name your copy. So my name is DK Jonah. So I'm going to fill my copy also today. Our name is DK Jonah. And I'm going to call it my content generation framework. I wrote content generation framework. So sorry for those that already know what to do, but we've got different people on the course. So it's always great we take everybody along. So you name the document whatever you want to name it, and then you save. That is the copy I will be working on. So I'm not going to be working on the copy everyone else is working on. I'm going to be working on the copy here. However, you also have the PDF version there. If you want a Microsoft Word version, all you do is same link that Anita or Susan or Comfort will post in the description. You go to File. If you want a Microsoft version, you go to Download over here and Microsoft Word. Download the Microsoft Word version and you will have access to the documents that you need to fill. So please, 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 if everyone can do that, we'll be working with that and with the other things that I have mentioned earlier. So let's get back to business. I love the emojis that are coming. So if you have your document, just put an emoji of a book or of a paper, or just tell me yes, I got it, or say done. So when we are making reference to the documents, you will know that I should go to that document at this point in time. But Abisola, back to your question. Not to worry, we will help you set it up. I will put you with someone. Maybe during the office hours, we can create, because the office hours sometimes they are dictated by what your needs are. If you need help setting up your Facebook page and your Instagram business page, we can have that done during the office hours on Monday. I will speak with Nene and Isioma. If Nene and Isioma are here, please let me know that you've heard me so you understand that Abisola will need help with setting up our Facebook page and our business page. There is an option for you to go into a separate call within the Zoom call to have your own private questions answered. Well, unfortunately, that will not be recorded, so that you can get that set up for you with the guidance from one of the team leaders that come for the office hour sessions. But I'm sure if they are here, they will let me know. Please, ladies, it's your man, Nene. Let me know if you're okay with doing that on Monday. If you are, then we're going to get started. Now, I have a question, and this time, you people are not answering my questions. Is content creation a skill that you think everybody can learn? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1, I disagree. Not everybody can learn content creation. 10, I agree. Everybody can learn content creation. I would like to see your thoughts on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think about content? Is it a skill everybody can learn? Or is it a skill that only a few people should have? Done. Fantastic. Wilson. Great. if you've done it, please let me know. And because we've already spent 15 minutes, so we've got a lot to do today. If I was going to get through with this. 8. Yes, I agree. Content creation is a skill everybody can learn. Everybody that is willing to learn and put into action, because there are different parts and aspects of content creation. Some people could be researchers, some people could be John, bravo. John said 10. Everybody can learn. The Zoom meeting, so the Zoom meeting is within that 10 to 12 to 2. But if you have a question and you want to speak with one-on-one with Nene, I will talk to her about it. She can take you into one of the rooms and you can have her help you out with your business page if that's what you need. Because I want a situation where everybody has their Instagram pages up by the time we start on Monday evening. So I will speak with them. Nene and Isioma, if you're here, let me know. But I will speak with them and we will let you know if it's going to be done in a private room or if they will do it for every other person at once. If it's just 1 or 2 people, then we will do. But if it's more people that say, oh, I want to know how to set up my page, then it may just be great for us to start with setting up an Instagram page, what you need to do. I've created a checklist of what you need for your Instagram page to exist, your bio, all those things. We will talk about all those things in details, so you don't need to worry. Or during the class, I can start with setting up your Instagram page. That's not a problem. Like I said, this training is flexible. The reason we have the office hours is so that we are ensuring everybody leaves here. Everybody that is willing to do the work gets work done. All right, let's go. Yeah, I agree. Content creation can be learned by everybody. Everybody has a creative style. So when it comes to content creation, it could be videos, it could be written. There is something that you are naturally good at. Just see content as you displaying what you're good at, showing your skills, showing people what you love, sharing about your faith, sharing about your favorite food. See content right the way you talk. So the way you and I are having a conversation, if you're giving parental advice, for example, that can be turned into content. So don't see content as something complex. The way you speak to your teachers, the way you speak to your kids when you're talking to them and giving them advice, that is the content mom bloggers are posting and getting paid for. So just realize that content is everywhere. It's like water, it's everywhere. But you need to know where to look to find good one that you need. But when it comes to content creation, these are the 3 things I need you to always bear in mind. Remember, who you are creating for is the very first thing you should understand. So if I'm going to put numbers here, I will say who you're creating for will become number 1. Sorry, I'm just going to do numbers so that you see what I am trying to say or do. So who you're creating for is number 1. Number 2 will be what do they need. And number 3 will be what platforms are they on. So who you're creating for, know their needs and know the platform they are on. Once you can get these 3 things, you're on your way to creating content that sells or connects with your audience. 3 things. Who are you creating for? And this is what I mean by that. Remember, we talked about understanding audience. The first thing we talked about is audience clarity. We said audience clarity is knowing yourself and knowing the person that you are designing whatever product for. So for example, if I am creating for teachers, it's going to be different from what I'm creating for parents. If I'm creating for doctors, it's going to be different from the way I will create for nurses. May be similar, but it will be different from what I will create for someone studying French. If I know who I am creating for, then I know what to create. So before you start creating, the reason we started with gaining clarity is we should first of all know who we are creating for. After that, after knowing who you're creating for, the next thing you need to know is what do they need. the second question you ask yourself is, what do they need? So I want everybody to think about who they are creating for, what they need, and what platform they are on. And I will give an example. So for my own brand, I've told you that my target audience I create for DIY entrepreneurs. That is small businesses that want to do it themselves. That's what I mean by DIY. They do not really have the resources to pay any other person to create for them, so they do it by themselves. DIY entrepreneurs, what do they need? They need content clarity. They need to learn how to create content. They need to learn what to post. What platform are they on? Now the platform is on Facebook, Instagram. They are on all these platforms. But my Instagram, my platform of choice is Instagram. And every time people say this thing, content is king. Content is king. But Brand by Banji took me by surprise one day with his Instagram post. So this was done by someone I recently connected with in my industry, and it's called Brand by Banji. And he said, yes, content is king, but people forget certain things. Consistency is queen. Bishop is storytelling. Knight is collaboration. Pawn is trial and error. And your rook is engagement. What do we mean by that? It's not enough to know that content is king. You must start creating content. And you create content consistently. The role of the king and the role of the queen are important. The king cannot rule properly without his queen. And the king needs his queen to be consistent. So content is king. Consistency is queen. Then what about storytelling? Emma talked to us about storytelling. That you don't want to make your content boring. Sometimes people come on your page and they get bored. But you want to make your content interesting. Make them understand that there is a human interacting with them. That it's not just a robot that is creating the post, but that there is a human interaction. So your bishop is that human being that is connecting you to your people. And then the knights. I love King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. But what I love about knights is their honor, the fact that they love collaborating. So collaboration is the knight on your chessboard. But if you watch all these historical movies and you think of King Arthur with the swords on the knight's table, but that's me bringing storytelling into what I'm talking about. But that's me talking to you about collaboration. Collaboration is your knight. Every piece on the chessboard is important. You can't have only the king on the board or only king pieces on the board. You're not going to have a wonderful game. But your knight brings about collaboration. The pawn is about trial and error. The pawn moves, makes mistakes and gets killed, but comes back. But you have more pieces of the pawns. So you keep on making content, creating content, doing your trial and error, and learning from it. And from the trial and error, you use your rook. That gives you engagement. So yes, I want you to think about this. If you can take a screenshot of this page and share it on your Instagram stories, that would be awesome. And tag Brand by Banji. Let him know that he has given us something awesome. But this content is king. Consistency is queen. Bishop is storytelling. Your knight is collaboration. The pawn is trial and error. And your rook is engagement. Now, I think before I go into details about this part, I would like to ask a question. Let's just have a conversation because what we're doing is quite interactive. Why don't people post? Not you. I'm not asking you to tell us your secrets why you don't post. But why do you think most people don't post? And I forgot to ask, how is the audio today? I hope the audio is really good because I don't know how it sounds. I'm not hearing myself. But if it's good, let me know. Why do you think people do not post on social media? Or what's the reason what are the excuses people give for not posting online? Like I said, we're trying to make it interactive. So if you have any comments, you put your comments. If you have a response to any question I ask, please, let's make it interactive. Everyone could write their questions or their comments, but let me know what is the main reason for content creators or for brands not posting on their page. So, hi, Mayan. Hi, Mayan. Okay, my audio is great. Awesome. I like that. So let me know, what is the excuse What is the excuse you've heard, the greatest excuse you've heard for people not posting? I'll share a couple of excuses. And the very first one is, I don't know what to post. People say, oh, DK, what should I post? And I'm like, content is everywhere. Not knowing what to post. John just said it. Not knowing what to post. That's the very, very first one. 99% because of time factor. The audio is really good. Awesome. So Abisola said people don't post because of time factor. And John said not knowing what to post. Those are two reasons people do not post. People don't have the time to post. The very first topic we talked about time management, but it's about understanding and managing your time. Chinonye said, I think why people don't post a lot on is because they don't know what to post. Lack of self-belief. Thank you all for the feedback. Not knowing what to post and how to post and being scared of posting nonsense. Fortune, welcome on board. Everybody say hello to Fortune. Welcome. Goodness said, not knowing what to post and how to post and being scared of posting nonsense. Awesome. This is awesome. People not accepting what you post as much as you want. Fantastic. These are all genuine reasons why people do not post. They lack content, they lack clarity, they want to post, but they just don't know how to post. Then they come to pages like mine that sometimes it looks as if every single thing is well thought of, and they're like, oh, I can't keep up with this. And I am going to some graphic designers pages and I am like, no, this person is intimidating me. I am not going to post again. And I go and hide my post. I'm like, I'm going to log out from my account. I don't want to see some brand strategies pages. You see their pictures. I'm like, wow, how did this person plan this photo shoot? And you just keep judging yourself and speaking to yourself. But the truth is, your audience need to hear from you. Your church needs to hear from you. The people that are asking questions about your brand and about what you do need to hear from you. But these are the reasons people do not post. And as I said, by the end of today, if you go through with what I am suggesting, you're going to come up with over a year's worth of content from just these little exercises that we're going to do. And everybody is going to participate today. But they said, someone said, I don't know what to post. And I agree with that. Some people don't know what to post. And I was like that before. Before I found content clarity, I struggled with what to post. I'm like, why should people listen to me? That's another thing people say. Some people say someone else is already doing it. But the Bible tells us there's nothing new under the sun. Everything you're thinking of doing, somebody else is thinking of doing it. Think about it. You think about a business name or a page name, and you quickly go and create it, and you see someone else has created it. And you're like, how did this person think of this? I just thought about this name. That shows you that there is nothing new under the sun. Then some people say, I do not have the experience required to talk to people. You don't need to have the experience. You just need to have something to say. Then some people say, oh, I don't want to expose myself. I am security conscious. I don't feel safe. You hear of people being kidnapped because they post online. But it's like, what do they post online that gets them the attention or the negative attention? Or what do they post that would have gotten them positive attention? People post the fact that, this person was posting regularly. Then people knew when they traveled and they went to their house and they robbed them. People bring lots of negative stories with social media and content creation. But I'm here to tell you that if done properly, content creation can help you, your brand, your church, your ministry, your business to connect with people that you would never have had access to through content creation. Content creation brought most of us together because of a post that we've seen or a flyer that we saw somewhere. And then we say no one cares. If no one cares, make them care. Tell your story, be authentic, be yourself. You would connect with your audience. So for all the reasons people have given for not posting, I say those are honest reasons. Do not say, those are rubbish. They are actually honest reasons. But then what is our response to those reasons? Our response to those reasons is let's observe those reasons. First of all, I don't know what to post. Okay, maybe you should come up with a content plan, which is what we are doing today. So this course is a response to that question, I don't know what to post. Someone else is already doing it, but no one does it like you. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John wrote the same story, but they wrote it in their own way. So think about it. There is no one that has your experience, your history, your skills, every single thing you have. No one else has it. Oh, but other churches have already posted this song. Post the song. Oh, must I share scriptures all the time? Yes, but add storytelling to it. Understand your audience. If you think that it's when it comes to posting, someone taught me something amazing, and Gary Vaynerchuk, he said that sometimes the reason people struggle to post is because they are trying to create a false personality of who they are and they cannot keep up with it. So rather than doing that, embrace who you are and document your progress. So just imagine you just started as a virtual assistant and you start posting about your virtual assistant's journey and telling people, oh, I started as a virtual assistant, I'm learning to design. In a couple of years' time, I would like to come back on this post and see how far I have grown. And you start taking people along with you on your journey. The day you don't post, some people will call you and say, DK, you've not posted. I think some people call me and say, DK, you've not posted this week, or we've missed your post. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. People who are reading and watching, they may not show it, but they are actually connecting with you. So I would say, don't think about what other people are doing. Think about what you can do. Think about the knowledge you have and the story you have to tell. You don't have to expose yourself completely. The beautiful thing about social media is it allows you to tell your story on your own terms. In the past, the press will you have to do a press release or something for people to know what's happening to you. But right now, you don't really have to do that. You have to just create content that people can connect with. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What type of content should you create? And what should you take into consideration when you are posting online? When you are posting online, I want you to do this. Write hashtag show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Let me know if people are listening to me. I want you to show them, don't just tell them. Sometimes we realize that you're talking at people, but you're not talking with them. You're not having a conversation. You're just having a monologue that no one wants to listen to because you are not connecting with your audience. So with content creation, we would like you to show and not just tell. And what I mean by this, think about the way your content can influence people and how it can tell your story in your own terms. So the first thing you should take into consideration is your audience. Who are they? The way you speak to a graduate is different from the way you speak to a grandmother. If this course was targeted only at fresh graduates, the nature and the topic will change. If it was directed at primary school students, the conversation will change completely. So know who you are writing to. That's why we talked about defining your audience clearly. When you know who you are talking to, you know their needs, you know what they will pay attention to. You know the kind of if you want to write to intellectuals and you want people to invest in your company, there's a way you will write your content that will connect with that person. If you're writing to parents and you want them to pay attention to what you say because of their children, the language you use, the words we use will communicate what we are trying to say, and what they communicate is our message, which is the next point. So the next thing you think about is your message. What is your message? I can tell you my message, and I will be using myself as an example in most of this. And sometimes I will get someone's brand. And if you want to tell me your message, feel free to do that. But what do I mean by your message? For my brand, my message is about content clarity. It's about clarity, finding out how to simplify content, DIY branding. So that's my message, that you can actually do it yourself if you know what to do. That's my message. How do I communicate my message? Through content, through discourse. So discourse is actually content. It may not be a social media post because there are types of content, but it is content. Then your content should take your growth plan into consideration. If you're looking to launch a business, if you're looking to have 5 events next year, if you're looking to be a church that is a family church that wants to attract more families or young families, you know the kind of pictures and the content you are posting. If your church is for what wants to attract singles, your events and the things you are posting will be about singles. If it's a women's ministry that is one of the most important ministries, you will do that. Same thing with your business. If your business is targeted at graduates, you will know when they are graduating and start creating content that will help them get jobs. It's not their graduation day. You say, these people have graduated. What do I do? Or you don't wait till Christmas Eve and say, oh, tomorrow is Christmas Day. What do we do? Think about your growth plans. Think about where you want your brand to be. That will determine the content you would create. But not to worry, we will get to all this in more details later. You want your content to trigger emotions, to either make them laugh, cry, frown, vexed, happy, irritated. You just want to trigger emotions with your content. And I hope everybody wants to make everyone laugh with their content. There are some people, just think about it. There are some movies you watch. Movies are content if you're not aware. There are some movies you watch, and when you watch a movie, you're just crying. You're like, this writer is a sadist. Why will he kill this person? Why will you do such a thing? But they've triggered an emotion in you. How can you use your content to trigger emotion in your clients, in your audience? Then share something memorable. I think most of my saved posts I get people saving and people sharing are posts I share what to post. When I say, oh, I think these are the 5 things you should post this week, I see lots of people sharing it. That's something memorable and something shareable. So I've talked about memorable and something they can remember and something they can share. Share something entertaining, share something interesting, share something that is in line with your brand, and just be yourself, be authentic. Every other person is taking. If you try to post like me, you're not me. You will get tired of playing like me. Remember when Paris Hilton said, oh, this this isn't a real voice. The way she has been speaking is not a real voice. That's not the real Paris. That the real Paris is not just a blonde that doesn't know what she's doing, but she's someone that is quite focused. Lots of people were shocked because she has played this person. You get tired of pretending to be someone else. Be yourself. And we have the queen of authenticity letting us know what to do about that. Lena talked about being authentic. So remember, I said you should have your growth plan. And your growth plan could be based on your business objectives, your social media objectives, but you should have metrics that you're going to use to measure this objective. Because when we are creating content, remember we said your porn is trial and error. You try out content, see people's reaction to content, and you will know whether you should do more of it or less of it, or if you should change anything about it. So I just wrote 4 business objectives and 4 social media goals. So the business objectives I have written are grow the brand, turn the customer into advocate, drive leads and sales, and improve customer retention. When it comes to businesses, how many people will agree with me that these are 4 objectives they would like to achieve to grow your brand? Turn customers into advocates. Advocates are people that speak on your behalf. So you are not even there. They'll be telling you, have you eaten Ade's moi moi? Like somebody and I had a conversation this morning. And they'll be telling you about the store that they went to just because they have eaten it and it was nice. That's what you want your brand to do for people. People will say, have you seen Wilson's graphics before? Wilson's graphics are amazing. You need to make him to design your graphics. They make recommendations when you are not even there. They write comments. You put a post and they're the first to go out there and comment and write something lovely on it. That's what they are doing for you. So you're turning your customers into advocates. How do you measure this? You measure this with comments, likes, mentions, and saves. So when people make comments on your post, when they like your post, when they mention or tag somebody else in your post, and when they save your post, and I will show you how you can find out how many posts have been saved. All right, drive leads and sales. This is just, so for a church, it would be maybe increase turnouts in church, have more converts participating. That will be a different way you're driving leads. Driving leads is just leading people in. So for a charity, it could be people bringing contributions. Everybody's objectives are different, but just think about it. Driving leads and sales is important. your social media goal is to convert people. Demonstrate the impact of your social engagement. How can you convert people? So you look at the email clicks. How many people have clicked your website? Remember, when we had a conversation with George, he talked about using the chatbots, letting you know the websites people were going on. So that's a metric for measuring people's conversion. Email sign up. How many people have joined your mailing list? How many people downloaded your freebies or whatever you're doing? Improve customer retention. And those are a few things that you should think about content. And the fear about content most people have about content is this: oh, I can't post every day. I said this one day. I said consistency is not about showing up every day, but it's about being consistent about the time you show up. So if you've decided that your brand will show up twice a week, every Wednesday and Sunday, show up Wednesdays and Sundays so everybody knows I post on Wednesdays and Sundays. I can say, oh, I send out emails every Wednesday. And I'm sure people that are on this course already know you receive 3 emails from us. We are consistent. We send you an email to let you know an hour before the class starts. Once the class is done and we have all the resources together, we send you another email letting you know the resources are available and you can catch up on the video. In the morning, we send you an email letting you, reminding you that there's a class that evening. So that is us showing up consistently on social media. You don't have to be online every day, but you have to be consistent. Consistency doesn't mean posting daily. Please let me know if you agree with that. Consistency doesn't mean daily. Consistency doesn't mean daily. So you can take breaks, but communicate. Before you hit publish, please, 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 and please think before you hit publish. This is something I've talked about in the past, but I just said we are all social media managers or social media manager want to be. And we need to have a content mindset. Let's stop being afraid of content. Let's stop saying, why will people want to read what I have to say? Let's see ourselves as a source of inspiration, because there are people that want to listen to you that have not heard from you. So you need to speak. You need to start creating content. But think about this. As a good social media manager or a brand manager, if you're representing your brand for your church, for your personal brand or whatever, you should think about this. You should listen. Listen to understand or to comprehend. Do not listen to respond. So many times we listen to give our quickest response without trying to understand what the person is saying. If yesterday someone asked a question on a YouTube comment and I was like, I can use this to make content because I'm listening to understand what they are saying. I wasn't thinking of a quick response to type so everyone will like. I went back and reflected and I'm like, okay, why are you asking this question? If you can ask more questions, you'll be able to create more content. Observe. Yesterday, we did competition analysis and it was about observing what our competition is doing. Observe what's going on in your industry. Know what the trends are. Know the things that you should be working on. Know what you can be investing your time. Know what people are paying attention to. What book was written recently. Observe but engage. Engage with your audience. Engage with your competition. Engage in your industry. Add value to your industry. Engagement is not just about speaking and letting people write comments. When people write a comment or say something, give a response. When someone tags you, if you see it early, if you don't, whenever you see it, oh, I didn't see this 2 days ago, I just saw it. Give a response. Engagement is a two-way street. You give engagement, you receive engagement. Some people realize when you engage consistently, they come over to engage with you. Analyze your content afterwards. Don't just post and go away. After some time, take time to reflect, analyze, and redesign. Reflect, analyze, and then redesign. Design the content, make changes if you want to, or stick to the process. But you have to take time to do that reflection and analysis. Don't just wake up in the morning and just pick up a quote and post. Do your research. Ensure that you know who you are making reference to. Ensure you know what you're doing. Don't post for posting's sake. Learn to create that time to create. Represent your brand completely and learn to integrate your brand values, your customs, your culture, and every single thing to what your audience need, and then create something magical for them. So there are 4 skills everybody that wants to be a content manager needs. And I said they need time management, they need to be flexible, they need to be alert, and they need, yes, and they need to be teachable. So it's about flexibility, being alert, teachability, and managing your time. For me, the following things make content stand out. You may choose to agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts. I think about the design. I think about the brand. Is it in style with the brand's design? I think about clarity. I think about the message and audience, and I think about the value. Now, what do I mean by clarity? You want a situation where people can read what you've. Okay, someone said network issues. All right, no problem. You want a situation where your design is looking good, where you are adding value. You're not just asking all the time. The mistake most brands make, and it's a mistake I will recommend that we do not make, is that they sell all the time. Think about it. When you go to Alaba, or you go to Brick Lane, or you go to Peckham, or you go to any of these markets, and they are pulling you, and your hair, you just finished doing your weave, or you just had a haircut, and they're like, auntie, do you want to make your hair? Or they are pulling you, say, my color, see these shirts, and they are calling you back like that. You get upset. That's how people feel when you sell all the time on your page. If the only time you post is, I'm selling this, no, you've not really missed much. We're going into the content generation framework now, so you've not missed much. But I think this course, the content generation framework is important, so you will do great. Welcome, Priye. Tonya, no problem. So those that are watching the replay, I am responding to people writing in the comments. We try to make this class as interactive as possible. If you're watching the replay, just write #team replay, and if you have a question, ask your question and I will definitely answer them. So let's look at the content creation framework. I have 6 here, but in reality I have given you 10 frameworks, and the first one is the content groups. I just looked at themes here. I looked at your objections, your success paths, your SWOT analysis, your problems and questions, and I will go into all of these one at a time. So when it comes to your success path, let's go to our document. So I'm just going to repeat the instruction I gave earlier when I said everybody should download this Google Doc. I don't know if you people have had access to it. So Wilson or anyone should please help me. Yes, Wilson or anyone should please help me put a link to the Google Docs in the comments again, so that everybody can just download it and they don't need to start searching in the unit for it. But I want everybody to make a copy of this, because what we're going to do today is we're going to fill this for you, or with you. We're going to fill a couple of pages of this for you. So I didn't make it anything fancy, so it's something you can use over and over again. But we're going to look at success stages. And now I will explain what I mean by success stages in a couple of seconds. So what do I mean by success stages, and what are success stages? Every brand has a stage that they are in, or they have certain things that they do well. Thank you so much for that, Wilson. So every brand has a stage they are in, and they have certain things that they do well. Oh, Susan, thank you. So we have 2 people posting the links. I have the best teammates in this world. They are just helping out with so much ease. We are starting with the success part. As a brand, you should know the services you offer that takes someone from a beginner to an expert. What is the success part you have for people that takes them from beginner to experts? And what's what I mean? When you come to me as someone that doesn't understand content creation, I will say, okay, you are a beginner. You've not started creating content yet. You may have an existing brand. You may know what you want to do, but you're still a beginner. Sorry, today is Halloween, so I guess people are outside screaming. So you will still have an idea of what you want people to do. So let me talk about the success part. I'm just going to go to that page quickly. For my business, I have identified my success parts as follows. I take you from clarity to expansion, and that's it. And what I mean by expansion is sometimes I call it optimization, I call it income generation, I call it different names. But I take you from clarity, where we started with brand clarity. I help you find clarity till you get monetized. And after you are monetized, I help you expand. That is what I do. Those are my stages. So when you're trying to create content, I use 5 stages and 5 tips for each stage. You can download it as a Word document, or you can click on file, make a copy, and save a copy as a Google Doc, whichever one you feel comfortable working with. If you save as a Google Doc, I can make comments on it, because I don't have Microsoft Word, unfortunately. If you save as a Google Doc, I'll prefer you to save as a Google Doc if you want me to work on yours with you. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. If you want me to work on yours with you, I will say, one second, let me see this comment. I have opened it, but how do I download it as a Word document? Okay, you want to save it as a Word document. So it's the same process. Under content, before this blue file, you have the word file here. You click on file, click on download, and then you see download as Microsoft Word. So that's how you download as Microsoft Word. File on the top left here. So I'm going to close that. File, download, Microsoft Word. Or file, make a copy. I would suggest you click on make a copy and save the copy so we can work on it together. And then if you add DK Jonah to it, when you and your team are through, I'll be able to feedback on you when we have our one-on-one session. Okay, so I was talking about the 5 steps. So this is the 5 steps for someone else. Fantastic. This is the 5 steps for someone else, and I will show you how we can create content from our 5 steps. So for someone else, for a church, your 5 steps to clarity, or your success part, is you want someone to be a full-time member of the church and an active member and a worker. What do you do from that first-time worshiper? That's how I'll say I will write your own. The first time someone steps in your door, how do you lead the person to be an active member and a minister in your church? What's that long-term goal? Is there a process that leads people from one place to the other? I will say that for a church. For a business, it's about taking someone from one stage to the other, so that when someone comes to me, I know everybody that comes to me wants to either create impact or create income. What is that doorway I take them through? What is my success framework I take them through when it comes to the tasks that they need to do? So for this business, these are their own 5 parts. They called it get clarity, get seen, get heard, get paid, get organized. So what I will now do is I'm going to go to my success stages. I told you my first one for my own brand is clarity. I help you gain clarity. That's stage 1. So all of you are in my clarity stage. What we did for the last couple of days was gaining clarity. We called it brand clarity and audience clarity. You could tell from the names. Clarity. The first thing, before we start creating content, before you even tell me what you're doing, I always say gain clarity. Then my second stage could be styling. So I can't see my screen. If you can't see my screen, let me know. I don't know if you can see my screen because I can't see the reflection of the screen. Okay, fine. I can see it down there. My second stage is styling. My second stage is styling. That's my second stage. For someone else, it may be different, but this is the success part. And styling is when I say, choose your color, make your logo. Those are parts of styling. Oh, take your picture. Those are styling for me. Then I will look at visibility. I separate visibility from platform. Then I have my final stage, which is monetization. All right, I think I will try something. I'm going to do 2 success stages for 2 different businesses. If anybody has an idea what their success stages are, they can let me know. If not, I'm just going to use a church as an example. So for a church, when anybody comes in, you're a first timer. Most first timers, the first thing you do is you take them to you want them to you want to find out where they are. Are they born again? Are they not born again? What is their level of faith or whatever you want to find out? So you give them a form. That is part of your content. So that is where you are getting content from. You are giving them something to give you back information. They give you information. You've created something. So the first stage is first timer. And please, I do not mind us going through this old document Monday also. If we take our time and do it, we don't need to do all the 10 stages today. If you're all okay with me to work on a couple of brands and stages like this, you know my style. I'm fine to do that. We'll catch up. So we do take first timer. What's the next stage? Akosua, can you let me know, Abigail, if what the next stage will be for after a first timer? After we have a first timer come in through your doors, you want the person to become, before you start talking about membership, is there something else you talk to the person about, or you want to make the person a member? Or you want the person to attend a couple of services first before you now say member? Is there a membership class that they go through? Do they go through a membership class? If they go through a membership class, fantastic. That's your second stage. And then they start serving. And if the aim is to become a pastor, let's just put that, a minister, at the end of the day, after serving, what do? They can become leaders. And after becoming leaders, they become ministers. So these are your 5 stages. Let me know if you agree with these 5 stages. I've given you 5 success. Fantastic. There's a membership class. I've given you 5 success stages for a brand and for a ministry. The brand, you're a first timer. First of all, we're like, foundation class. So we can't see different ministries call it different things. Oh, that's good. So it's called a foundation class also. So why I want you to feel this is, I want a situation where you are writing what it is for your own brand. Because I will still pause and come back to my screen. But I want a situation where you are writing what it is for your own brand. Like I said, today, yes, there will be some parts we'll go back and look at the graphics. But for this success stage, I've shown you, I have only 2 graphics on it. This one and the one I do, and the 2 I showed when I said stage, this is success stages. It's a content generation framework. And so we are like, okay, are there 5 steps for between a first timer and a member? How do we get people from the first timer to member? They may be this thing. So what I want you to do with this success framework is this. I want you to think about 5 stages and 5 tips for each stage. 5 stages, 5 tips for each stage. So I will give 5 tips for my own stage. I will do just one stage, and I'll give 5 tips for the other one. So 5 stages and 5 tips for each stage. And remember, we said we are creating content for at least a year. If you look at 5 stages, 5 tips for each stage, this is what you will figure out. You'll figure out that 5 times 5 is 25. 25, after getting 5 stages and 5 tips, you then give 2 examples of each of the 25. That makes it 50. So 5 stages, 5 tips, 2 examples. So the document you have stage 1, 5 tips, 2 examples. Stage 2, 5 tips, 2 examples. Stage 3, all the stages to stage 5 we have. I actually added stage 6 just in case anybody has stage 6. You can add more tables if you have more stages. But yes. All right, I'm going to pause here and see if everybody has filled their 5 stages. If you are not sure of the 5 stages of your brand, let me know and we can discuss your 5 stages. All right, who is lost? Wilson. All right, no problem. So Wilson, for your brand, we want people to buy products. We want people to buy products from us. You have 2 target audience. You add, I can't remember the name we gave him, but you add the real estate, you add the real estate company, and you add the family. Those were 2 different types of customers. So we want a situation where, so you pardon me, I'm going to do something. I'm going to add another row and come up with a stage. 5 stages for Wilson. You want a situation where you have first time buyer. Okay, I will try and do it for as many people as I can, but sometimes I will need to ask you questions because your success part is determined by you and your brand objectives. Wilson, I will come to yours also, but you people will be, you both sell products. For you, you may want to sell subscription boxes also. So you are like, okay, you want a situation where people will buy subscription boxes. That could be another stage of your business. It's your success part. What are your success parts? So for me, my success parts are from helping someone find clarity to helping the person monetize. And I'm going to go back to this document here that talked about the success part of another brand, which is a different way to look at it. She said, first of all, she helps the person get clarity. Then she helps them get seen, which is visibility. She helps them get heard, which is amplifying what you're doing. She helps them get paid, which is make money, and get organized. Okay, you're getting paid. Now you want to expand. How do I help you expand? Because this is part of a 10-year plan or something like that. So for my own brand, I looked at my success stages based on the services I offer. You can look at your success stages based on the services you offer and create content around that. So you do candles, fine. But apart from candles, what else do you do, Mayan? Apart from candles, what else do you do? Because if I know a little bit more about what you do, we can then look at ways we can get you a thrift seller. Okay, this can apply to a thrift seller also. It can apply to everyone as a thrift seller. And the truth is, you must not create content for all these stages yet completely. These are ideas that will grow with your business. That will grow with your business. So with your long-term business goals, you know your long-term business goals. If you are a thrift seller now Are there plans to expand into certain areas? So for now, you thrift one-on-one directly with people. Do you want to move into a bigger store? Do you want people to come to you and buy in bulk? What are your business objectives? Do you want a situation where you offer styling services, even if you're a thrift seller? What thrift products do you sell? Exactly. So if I know the thrift products you sell, it's a lot easier to help you out with your success part. But this is just one of the ways. The reason I started with the success stages is once you've gained clarity of yourself and your brand, which is my first stage, you now want to now say, okay, I want to move to the next stage of my branding, which is styling. So your first stage could be somebody comes to you, the person is not sure if the person wants to thrift. They just come in as a first-time customer. What is your customer journey from that first touch you have with the person to the person becomes a loyal person that is buying from you all the time? Do you understand? So it's your own success tips. That is why it's called your success path. What is your path to success? Have you defined success completely? The reason it's easy for me to write mine as clarity, styling, visibility, platform, and monetization is because of this. I know my end goal is for you to, I even have a sixth stage, because you start making money. Well, I want you to do something else, and I will share my sixth stage with you later on if you stay to the end. So I'm like, you come to me, DK, I don't know what to post. I say, oh, let's go back to defining your brand. Don't think about your logo first. What is the first? Yes, clarity could be listening to a new potential customer. So clarity could be, okay, let's do it this way. So that I can focus on one brand. I'm just going to do it for a brand specifically, where we look at your buyer journey. What is your buyer journey between that first touch to when the person eventually buys from you? Does everybody know? There was a part in the document that we did that we talked about your buyer journey. What is the journey between that first touch when somebody comes to you and when they eventually buy from you? First of all, you create awareness. There will be interest. There will be consideration before conversion. You do not convert some people immediately. So your success stages could be, first of all, awareness, interest, consideration, and conversion. That could be your own buyer journey. So after conversion, you now have retention, because I've converted you, but I have not retained you. So I will explain what I mean by all these stages. So I'm just going to write this. I'm going to take this first time buyer out and do this. Awareness. In awareness, I'm aware of your brand. I come on your page. I see your page. I like your page, but I go away. Okay, fine. What's the next thing you think about? What do I do to make this person come back to me? What would the person have to research about me to make sure that they come in and stay with me? So we can say, okay, they show interest later. They say, oh, how much is your product? That's interest. They now take consideration. They now start investigating. They will be looking at your reviews and other things. What are the benefits I can get from this person? So consideration and eventual conversion before they buy. This is the buyer journey. After conversion, you want to retain them. You don't want someone to buy once and then not come back again. You want to have a loyalty card. So your retention plan, Mayan, can be creating a loyalty card to say, oh, if you buy, I'll give you send an email saying, on your next purchase, I'll give you 10% discount. That is retention strategy. So you are going to create content letting people know that, oh, on your next visit, I will give you 10% discount, or you send an email letting them know, I will give you 10% discount. That is your. Sorry, for us in the UK, we are officially in lockdown again. Are you serious? Lockdown 2 is official. Month-long restrictions. Anyway, we'll look at that later. Sorry about that. Okay. So your success path for a farm will be different. I will do for one brand, and then we will work on other brands gradually. So let me work on one brand, and we started with the Zuran Cosmetics. But I will say this, as a farm, what is your success path? What do you want to do? Do you want to Momola, there are a lot just came on my phone. I think this phone should not be start on Thursday. Thank you very much. I did not read it well. I just saw it's official. I'm like, I need to stock up my house. All right, let us focus. Let me focus. Rather, I should talk to myself. Focus. Awareness. So for your brand as a farm, you want to create awareness of your farm. One way you can create awareness is by creating posts on social media about the services you offer and the farm. Let people know about the services. They will now get interested. If somebody has seen the first post about the services, what else can you create that will make people know you about your interest? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take one stage, give tips on that stage on ideas of content you should create, and give 2 examples. Is everyone okay with me doing that? Mobala, thank you for the feedback. Is everybody okay with me doing that? Let's take one stage. I'll do one stage for awareness and one stage for clarity. Because if I do for clarity, you... John, I should help you to help me do that. If I do for clarity, my own brand, you'll be able to see it. Then I'll do it for another brand. If anybody has defined their success part, if you've not defined your success part, it will be difficult. But like I said, fantastic. All right. Like I said, it's just about understanding, and this is not something you will get overnight. But like I said, that's just one of the ways of creating content. We will look at the other ways when I do clarity, and then we'll come back to this, since this one is a bit tricky, because I think we may need to spend time defining your success part, because your success part in the long run will be having people that do 1 year subscription of a monthly subscription box. That is a long-term plan that is amazing. But then you could have a way that your subscription plan is to allow companies to do subscription boxes for all their staff. That is a subscription plan that you have. That is part of your retention strategy. So the content you are creating will be letting people know that these things are possible. But let me do for my clarity. So for my clarity stage, I help people define their brands. I talk about time management. So, okay, so I said, okay, for my clarity stage, I define brands, talk about time management. Now, these will now become content. I will write a post on, or a quote on time management. Then I will think about it. What else have you done? Sure, I will. That's not a problem, Abisola. We will come back to the success part. Sometimes telling people about your services is so. I'm just going to answer questions, and after that, I'll spend a couple of minutes working on this. Then we'll come back to the questions. But so Abisola says she has problem creating a success part. Yes, you can. Abisola, there's nothing wrong with creating the success part and having problems with it. I had problems and I had to get help, and my friends helped me out, because sometimes you don't see it, but somebody else that knows what you do will see it. So, for example, you talk about your course. You've created your class for parents. That is the first place. You've already said, oh, I'm starting this lesson for students. How do I get the parents aware? You can announce it during a PTA meeting by creating a flyer, putting up a post on a page, doing a promotional post or something. That's the first step to creating awareness. You've created that content. So now that you've created that content, that's awareness. Interest. Some people take that flyer from you that you've created or see that post. How do you know those that are interested? You will now see the comments, the questions, the likes, and what people are saying about that post. You're like, these people are interested. But you've already thought in advance that, oh, what else will make me keep these people's interest? Natasha, I will get to your question, not to worry. What will make me keep these people's interest? You think about that. And then you create content in a way that you retain their attention. If you think about the interest and consideration, I'm interested, I come back and I email you, I want more information. After I've seen your flyer, for example, and you tell me, go on my Instagram page and look at what I have done. I now go on your page, I click the follow, and I start looking at what you're doing. And I want to make consideration about what you do as your service. And all this, so I'm giving you these success stages for just one service, which is your class, to get that conversion here. As I'm making consideration, what do? I start looking at what you post. I'm like, oh, I like the way Mrs. Abisola talks to write her post. I like the way she teaches. You could have videos of you teaching. You could have tips of you giving tips for passing exams, how to concentrate, how to calculate, or something simple. So now the post you are posting, the value added post, because you're not advertising that all the time, that person will now make consideration and start reading more and following you before they eventually convert and pay for the course. But now they've paid for the course, you want to retain them and you want them to refer you to other people. You now create things that will make your retention strategy good. But all these will now come to the content that you would create to ensure you have a good success path. So those are what I will talk. I will say, if you're not sure of the success part of your brand, use these ones. I want to create awareness. I want to create interest. I want people to take what I do into consideration. I want to convert and I want to retain. Use these 5: awareness, interest, consideration, conversion, retention. Just use that first. When you start offering more services, you'll be like, because right now you just want to teach a couple of people. Before you know it, you may want to have an online website with lots of courses and other things, and you can collaborate with other teachers, and you are just the principal person using what you have to get people in. That could be your long-term success path that you are drawing up. That could be your plan in the future. You could want to open a school, you could want to do more things, but you've started somewhere. So take that one. If you've not thought about so many services, take that service that you offer and look at these 5 things. And we'll talk about how you can create content on all these things. But like I said, success paths is just one of 10. And success paths alone can give you 25 content and then 25 examples. So it gives you 50. All right. So number 1, define. I said brand clarity, time management. I'm just going back to my audience clarity. I talk about content clarity. And I can say content generation as a separate one. So I've just talked about one stage only. And making sales, and so conversion is when people eventually buy. Making sales can also be, it's conversion. Retention is I bought from you once, repeat business. I'm so glad I've helped you, Abisola. My screen is not clear. Are you people serious? Nobody said anything since. I'm so sorry. Is it clear now? Oh, I apologize. I thought it was clear. Let me see if there's anything I can do while I'm looking at the screen and seeing if it's clear. Let me answer Chinonye's question. People don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. Most people that come on my courses, I talked about it yesterday, come because of my attitude to branding. They come because they connected with me. You came because Salamat connected with me through my post and through recommendations. So sometimes you don't need to force people to talk about your services. Sometimes telling people about your services doesn't get them interested in what you offer, especially when there is so much competition. There is competition everywhere. Yesterday we looked at 4 different types of competition you have. Some of them you don't even see them as competition, they're actual competition. There is competition everywhere. I always say this: when you go for a job interview, stop trying to be better than the next person beside you. There's an industry standard that has been created. Beat that standard. There's a standard in your industry. Beat that standard. Break the glass ceiling, give the best 100% of the time. And this is what I will say: I look at my Instagram page as a magazine, and that's one of my number one sales platform, and not a catalog or an album. And I will talk about that in more details on Monday, but I will explain what I mean by that. My Instagram page, my website, and my YouTube channel are things that where I do things for free. I give advice. I tell people what to do. I create what I refer to as value added content. Value added content are content that will improve the life of the person that is reading it without you asking them to do anything extra. So it's an educational content that will make them improve without saying buy from me. Sometimes we sell and we are too salesy. We want to force people to buy from us. I gave an example of going to Alaba or Agboja and people are dragging you up and down. I'm sure so many girls hated that stuff. Even if you want to buy and you're looking for somebody, but they will keep pulling you and you're like, stop pulling me. That is how we look to people when we sell all the time. You want to, I'm going ahead of myself, but you want to ensure that your page is not always come to my church, come to my church, come to my church. We have service today, we have service tomorrow. No. Your page is adding value to the people that are looking at your page, even if they don't come to your church. You've improved their lives with the content you've created. You've added value. You've taught them how to study the Bible. You've taught them how to read their books. They are not coming to your school, but you've given educational tips that will help them improve themselves. For the parents, they say, oh, I understand your children are teenagers and they are going through puberty. It may be difficult to understand them, but just know that you are not alone and you are doing a good job. Just write that quote and put it there. See yourself as that parent that has a temperamental 16-year-old that is about to write WAEC and is refusing to read. So as Abisola writes that quote there as a quote, there are parents that will connect with that even before, and they now see that she has something to sell. There are other people selling, but those other people are only selling. They are not adding value to them in any way. They will go for Abisola instead. Why? Abisola has done something extra to them that nobody else thought about doing to them, which was adding value to them. Think about what you can give somebody. Don't only focus on the money. When we focus on the money all the time, we lose our impact. There's a reason you are a strategist. There's a reason you are a virtual assistant. There's a reason you are a social media manager. That reason is enough to equip you to add content. You could share. Ask them. I have a YouTube channel called DIY Branding, where some people like, DK, this should have been a paid course. There are some trainings. Before I did this, my first training, I finished speaking and people call me and say, what is wrong with you? Why did you give that for free? People are upset. And I'm like, I just have to add value. Now, those same people, even if they could not attend this class, sent people to attend these classes and paid for people because they're like, the knowledge that girl has added to my brand, nobody else will have done it with the heart that she did it. People will connect with personalities. And then I may be too soft for some people. They'll be like, I like the one that will push me and ensure that I get things done. So people will connect with you. You should know who you're selling to. You are not selling to everybody. You are selling specifically to your target audience. You are not selling to everybody. You are selling to your target audience. Know who they are. Sell directly to them. Don't sell to every single person. Don't sell to every single person. Sell to the specific people you are selling. So this is why I say sell 30% of the time, and 70% of the time you will create other types of content that I will teach you about next week. So Natasha, if I have answered your question properly, please let me know. All right. My screen is clear. Awesome. I'm glad my screen is clear. I just scrolled down and I'm like, hope the screen is clear. Natasha, I hope I've answered your question. Because of time, I'm going to do 2 examples or 2 tips when it comes to defining your brand. And I can just have a quote and say and put this as a content. Your logo is not your brand. And that's my example of content. Now that is one content. Your logo is not your brand. Oh, I'm glad I was. That's just one content. Now that becomes content because that's a service I offer. I have said your logo is not your brand. Simple. I can give another branding tip. Yes, sorry, I'll be answering questions. So Amaka, can you see the questions on the screen? If you can't see the questions on the screen, let me know. I will create something so you can see I'll click something so you can see the questions on the screen. Amaka said, oh, sorry, Amara. Hey, Amara. Amara said, for a fashion brand, giving daily style inspo, can it be considered as a value-added post? 100% value-added post. You tell somebody what to wear for their body size. You give style inspo. You tell them color combinations. Oh, this belt goes with this. If you have a small waist, use a thin belt. Don't wear vertical lines because this. In fact, break all the fashion rules if you want to. Those are value-added posts. Yes, those are value-added posts. But we'll do more about value-added posts this thing. Okay, so now I said I'm giving you I'm answering questions for those that are just joining us. So I said give 2 tips or give 2 examples. I said for 5 stages, 5 tips, give 2 examples or 2 posts can come out of it. So I said for brand clarity, 2 tips that I can give on brand clarity. One tip I can give is that your logo is not your brand. Your branding is not just about your logo. Some people, when you define branding, the first thing that comes to fantastic shopping on a budget. So anybody that has a fashion brand, the tip that Natasha just gave is a good tip for you. So now, your logo is not the only thing about your brand you should pay attention to. Some people pay attention to just the logo. When I want to create a brand, oh, I have created the logo already. When people tell me that, I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have. Because yeah, I'll be like, you shouldn't have. But I'll be like, okay, that's not a problem. Let's see the logo and let's see if we can make it work. The reason I say this is your logo should reflect your brand personality, your audience, and all the other little elements that make up your brand style guide. So the logo should not be or let's rephrase it that the logo is not the first thing you create for your brand. Maybe that would be better. So I can have that quote. Amaka, please create this quote for me for tomorrow. The logo is not the first thing you create for your brand. And then I've given you the caption also. It's not the first thing you create for your brand. So now that's a tip I have given for one of my success paths. But it's a service that I offer. So I've said brand clarity. Your logo is not the first thing you create for your brand. So the person is like, okay. There are other things that I can do before I think about my logo. What else can I do? In my captions, I can now say you need to understand certain things before you create your logo. Your logo should be linked with the values of the brand, your and I talk about other things that should be linked to your logo. What I have done indirectly is I have sold myself without selling myself. I did not say come to me and I do it. Amaka, I want to see the design that you will come up with. I'm excited. So, so now somebody that sees that the logo is not the first thing that you create for your brand. If the person was just about to create a logo for their brand, the person pauses and says, "Oh, I need to stop. Let me talk to this girl and find out what should be the first thing I do." And I can now leave it open ended. I can now put in the caption, "Do you agree? Let's discuss." We can now have a conversation in the comments. That is driving engagement. You want to create content that is driving engagement for your audience. You don't just want to be talking to them. So even somebody said the logo is not the first thing you create for your brand. Some people may feel attacked because that's the first thing they did. I can say, however, if you've created your logo, that's not a problem. You could still go back and define other things about your brand so that you have this. This is what I call brand clarity. Being clear about who you are, who you serve, and why you serve them. Full stop. Let's I then have a conversation. But I have given a good example of a content coming off from one of my success parts. So if one of these things, Mayan's success part is that my candles help you with stress management. She can say, "Do you know lavender makes you sleep better?" You're like, "Lavender? Sleep? Ow." And then she now writes something about lavender. And you'll be like, "Oh, this is nice. Okay. That's awesome. Lavender makes me sleep better." Oh, you can, for a coach, you're like, "Do you know that drinking water helps you? It may reduce migraine." Or before reading, try and do certain things before you read. Do a brain dump and write down everything you're thinking about so that you're able to focus. Or tell students, I don't suggest you read throughout the night. Plan your time. You are giving value. You are creating awareness of what you do with the content that you are creating. Is that okay? Can I give another? Do you want me to give more examples, or should we go to another type of content creation strategy? Okay, we have 28 minutes more. It seems we're going to continue this content generation next week because I don't want to keep us past 8, but we'll continue it on Monday. Don't worry, we'll finish it and we'll still finish our Instagram part. That's not a problem. Okay, so I can now give another example of time management, about how to manage your time. Remember, I said my people say they don't create content because they don't have time. I can now write time management tips and come up with tips on how to manage your time as a new brand. I can share my resources that I use that save me time when I'm designing. I can share my design tips so that you're not spending 10 hours designing. I will tell you, this is how I do my design so that I do not spend hours designing. So I'm sharing tips on time management, but this is just on one stage of my success plan. If I do for all the stages, I will have for brand clarity 2 tips, for time management 2 tips, for audience clarity 2 tips, for content clarity 2 tips, and for content generation 2 tips. If I do for all 5, I have 50 content ideas waiting to happen. All right, everybody write hashtag 50 content. So we're all going to come up with 50 content ideas by Monday. I'm so excited to see what everybody will come up with. 50 content ideas. Let me know that you're following. If you have any question on this success stage, but like I said, we can come back to it later. Let's do one that is easy, that we can all start talking about. All right. So is everybody okay with the success stage, the SS, when it comes to content creation? Please let me know. If not, I will do another success stage, entirely different one. I won't do clarity. I'll pick another success stage and give two examples. Or I could pick an example of a church. I said I was going to do a church also. So now let's see. 50 content ideas. Fantastic. All right, now let's do something for A. So we're all going to go on with, I told you you're going to go on with over 365 content ideas by the time we're through with this. And do not limit it to 2 tips. I just said 2 tips or 2 examples because I can share 2 stories. And I can share a story about logo. My very first business, I created my logo before I created anything. I created a logo. I paid for the website. I paid for every single thing. I did not use any of those things till today. And you don't want to know how much I spent. The person just gave me one long list. Oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. I was so excited. I paid for everything. And I did not use anything for the business. So that's now an interesting story that I have told. So that's another content idea. So you can tell a story. If you don't know what to do, tell a story. I can tell you a story about me and my love for maths or my this thing. Okay, so when I was in GS2, I did not like maths at all. But I was someone that always studied. So I was reading, and my dad was watching me one day. I was just trying my best to read, and he came and he was looking at me. He was like, I did not know he was staring at me for a while. I've told this story many times. So many people will know the story. I did not know my dad was staring at me for a while, and I was like, and he just heard me grumbling, and he just said, what is the problem? And my response was like, this is not this stupid Pythagoras. And he now explained to me in 2 seconds what I had been trying to learn for like 3 months. I was dazed, and then it made me realize that my attitude towards maths made me hate maths, and my attitude towards my teacher made me despise maths. So I find my head, when the woman said, if you don't know this Pythagoras theorem, you can never know anything again. That statement stuck with me, and I was not able to move forward at all. The same thing happens with content. The reason I'm passionate about helping people find content clarity is this. When people hear the word algorithm, their reaction reminds me of the way I reacted when I heard Pythagoras theorem. I want to help people understand that content is simple. Tell your story of how doing something, how you studied when you were a student and you studied. If you are a student and you failed an exam, you are speaking to children and all that, you explain to them that, we made mistakes when we were in our own days. Don't make the mistakes we made though. We did this, then we found out the hard way and we came back and did everything again. You don't want to come back and repeat the year so that you do not be like this other senior that went away. Those students will remember those stories. Those clients will remember those stories. Tell stories. So now let's give a stage to, like I said, we're going to try and make it balance. Awareness of your church. So before someone becomes a first timer in your church, or a first timer, someone that stepped into your church for the first time, they don't know what to do, but you have a believers class. So you have to create awareness that you have to do a welcome. You invite them and you let them know what is going to happen. You make an announcement. You make an announcement and say, all first timers, we'd love to have you here. We want to welcome our first timers. You do something wonderful. You put a post that says, you want to make them aware of the second stage, which is your believers class or your welcome class or your foundation class. Put a post about the dates for the next class. And how they can register. Then, if you've ever been to a new place, if they did not make you feel welcome, you will not be welcome. You feel, Nobody wants to talk to me in this place. You keep to yourself. And so think, put yourself in their shoes. What would you have liked to see in that church or in that office when you first of all came? You would have liked to know what to do and what not to do, how to register, how to get to the event, what time to arrive, what time it closes, every single thing. You want to know every single thing. So you give them that blueprint or that bulletin that has all the details. But what if they dropped it on the bus or they did not fill it completely? You got their email address, you send them an email again to check their email. Because now, remember I said the content calendar we are creating here is not limited to Facebook or Instagram. It's also about your email list. That can now be an email welcoming them to the church again and reminding them about the event. So you post about it. Then you share people's stories that are now members. Share people's first time stories. Those are two things that you've done that have helped people that are just coming in to feel welcome, because you shared stories of, oh, I remember the first time I came in here, I was a bit lost. I did not know what I was doing, but now my life has been transformed. Because people like hearing that grace to them, grass to grace or grace to grass. Please correct me, which one is it? But people like hearing stories like that because they are like, oh, so this person is like me. They see themselves. They're like, when I first of all came, I was down. Somebody told a story recently. I saw it on Twitter. He said, I ran into a friend of mine 5 years ago. He was on drugs, he was lost, he was just a confused person. We invited him to my house, we took him home, we helped him get clean. Right now, he owns his own building company. He's a minister, he owns his own building company. That story will connect with someone that comes in that is looking for a place they can call home. Because then you can say, if you know what your church or your company stands for, you can say, oh, we're a family church. If I am looking for a family church, I will want to stay. Oh, we are all about the youth. We want our children to grow up in a way that they understand and fear and understand their relationship with God. Then if you have small children, you're like, I want my children to grow up in this thing. Tell people what you have to offer through your posts, your Instagram post, your email, your communication on your website. So all these things can come on your website about what you do. Remember, our content generation framework is not limited to Instagram. We start Instagram on Monday, although we will use tips from here for some things from here for Instagram. So do I have your permission to go to the next topic? I think I do. I think I've vlogged this one well. So success part, we said 5 stage, 5 tips, 2 examples. Just think about it. 5 stages. You must not, if you have more than 5 stages, it's all right. If you have more than 2 examples, it's all right. But this is just a start. Think about 5 stages and 5 tips for your this thing. Then we talk about content groups. Should we come to content groups? Okay, let's do content groups. Now with this one, I actually love this one, and so many people, this is something that I have used for a long time. No, okay, let's do something before we come to content groups. Let's do 1 second. I'm just going to do a little change quickly. Then we will move to that instead of content groups. Yeah, we're going back here. Before we go to content groups, we were supposed to do industry before I came to the 5 stages. So we're going to do industry. Now, I want everybody to do this stage, please. I don't think I added a table for it. If I did not, I will let you know in 2 seconds. If I did, fantastic. We are good to go. No, I did not. Okay, that's fantastic. All right, so I will update the documents there, but if you are here, I want you to add a table, and I'm going to tell you what to add on your table now. Amaka, please remind me to do this for others. So you go to insert table and 3 columns, 2 rows, 2 columns, 3 rows. And I want you to write industry, niche market, and target market. And I will explain. Now, every brand belongs to an industry. Someone posted a few seconds ago and asked questions about fashion. And someone said, "Oh, are you a designer?" That means, are you in the fashion industry? Wilson is representing a tech company, home technology. So you can say you belong to the home tech industry, or you belong to the technological industry. Then when we get to your niche, you will narrow it down. Fortune is representing a farm. It belongs to the agricultural industry. I am representing the business. I belong to the business sector. Natasha is representing a personal brand, but we'll discover what industry that person belongs to. But she's a woman, so let's just say she belongs to the feminine industry. Everybody belongs to a specific industry. You need to know the industry your brand belongs to. Every business is classified into industry based on the following things: the products you make and the markets you cater to. You either cater to men or women. Those are two big industries. You either cater to adults or children. So even if you're in the fashion industry, you can say, "Oh, I cater to men's fashion or women's fashion." Two different industries. Abisola is a teacher. She caters to the educational industry. I belong to the business industry. Many people belong to the business industry. Mayan belongs to the wellness industry, because yes, you sell candles, but you don't just sell candles. Okay, yes, I will add it for you, not to worry. Amaka will add it for you, don't worry. I will add it for you. Now, that's not a problem. If you have not downloaded the document, it has been added already. If you've not downloaded the document, it has been added yet already. Okay, no, it's not been added because I'm not working on that. Let me add it to this one. I'll add it to the end of the document so that you can just use it there. So I added it to the end of the document, and it's just going to be, I want you to write the industry you belong to. That's very important. Why is it important to know your industry? It's important to know your industry because you need to know who you cater to and what's happening within your sector. Not knowing the industry you belong to makes you miss opportunities that you should have been able to take advantage of. So remember, we talked about brand clarity. Brand clarity is about making you understand who you are so that you do not miss opportunities that may come your way. Understanding your industry also does that for you. It makes you understand who you cater to, why you cater to them, and the opportunities and the threats in your industry. So for example, someone that teaches online, you are a teacher but you're using tech to teach. You belong to the educational industry, but you also use technology. But someone that teaches in a classroom, during COVID, you were affected. So if you understood the industries that were affected during a certain natural disaster or during a certain climatic change, you will know how to create content for that specific industry. So first of all, know your industry. I know I've mentioned some industries, but I would like to see the industries that we are catering to. Could you let us know the industries that we are catering to, so that I know if I got everything? So Amaka, Natural Nyota, you are in the beauty industry. If you do not agree with the industry I have said you belong to, that is all right. If you believe you belong to another industry, that is fine. But know the industry that you are going to primarily position yourself in. We have just 10 more minutes. Apart from your industry, you now cater to a specific set of people referred to as your target market. The target market are the specific group of people you want to reach with your marketing message. Remember, we talked about your brand message. You must know your marketing message. And there are certain things that unite your target market. And we've done this before. We talked about your psychographics and your demographics. Your target market is a group of consumers identified as likely purchasers of a product, and it enables the firm to direct its resources to these customers with high potential for sales, growth, interest in the product, and loyalty to the brand. That is your target market. We will talk about this in more details in a few seconds. But apart from your target market, you have what we call niche markets. And niche markets are created. They do not exist. So you now want to create a niche. So Amara is in the fashion industry, Timenyi is in the beauty industry, Fortune is in the agricultural industry. And then what part of agriculture does he do? He says, okay, I'm in the agriculture industry. In the agricultural industry, are you doing what are the Fortune, tell me the target market for different target markets in the agricultural industry. I know there will be farm and vegetables, plants, and there will be animals. Those could be two different things. So could the people that cater to people that have farm products, agricultural products, plants, and the people that deal with animals, chickens. So those are two different target markets again. Then there will be niche markets that is smaller than the target market. The niche market is created. It's a segment of the larger market. If you create a niche for yourself, there will be less competition. So I have said, I do not cater to all entrepreneurs. I cater to DIY entrepreneurs. So remember, I said I cater to businesses. What type of businesses? Small businesses. What is my niche market? DIY entrepreneurs. Aquaculture and agricultural value chain. Fantastic. I forgot about aquaculture. So I didn't even mention something else that was in his own industry. So it could be aquaculture. That could be what he is doing. And in aquaculture, you can still divide it into smaller categories. So then you create what you call a niche. So we have three things, and we're going to stop here. We have your target market and we have your niche market. Now, these two are very common. So I want to help you differentiate between your target market and your niche market. Your target market is a group of people to whom your product is being marketed to, who your product is marketed to. A niche market is different because your target market is who you serve. Your niche market combines your target market who with what you are helping them with. In this service, you're specializing. What service do you specialize in? So I said, and I'm going to fill my form, and I can help a couple of people fill theirs also, if you are not sure. I belong to the business sector. I don't deal with all businesses, small businesses. And then I said DIY entrepreneurs. But someone will be like, what do you mean by DIY entrepreneurs? I've never heard that word. But I didn't even know that the word existed. I came up with it one day because I was trying to describe who I work for. I was like, apart from DIY entrepreneurs, I cater to someone else. Virtual assistants. Social media managers. Fantastic. So I have been able to say my industry, my niche market, and my target market. Now I'm going to do this for a church. Insert column to the right. So we're going to finish in 3 minutes. Then we'll take questions, if that's okay with everyone, because I'm aware we have 6 minutes. So for a church, what industry does a church belong to? A church belongs to the religious sector because a church is a religion. It does not exist in isolation. So a church belongs to the religious sector first and foremost before any other thing. Abigail, I'll ask you a question right now. So we've said our religion is our industry, our niche market, we are Christians, and then your target market, you could be Pentecostal, Protestant, Roman Catholic, Anglican. Where do you fit in the bigger picture? Because you need to know where you fit in the bigger picture. If you're not sure where you fit in, yes, you can ask questions, but define where you fit in. Be certain of where you fit in. You don't fit in everywhere, you fit in somewhere. You have specific people that you speak to. You could speak to the Roman Catholics, you could speak to the Anglicans, you could speak to the Protestants. There's so much more you can do with what you do. But it's understanding the industry is the religion industry, the niche market is Christianity, and I will let you fill your target market. And that's me for today. So who wants to share their niche market and target market with me? While we're not doing this today, we're going to do this later. This problem solutions, and trust me, it's going to be awesome. So we'll continue with this on Monday. Pentecostal, fantastic. So I hope you're filling yours at once. So your niche itself is Pentecostal. So when we come back next week, we're going to pick up from here on Monday. We are now going to look at, and so can I give everybody a little homework? I know I've never given homework, but I feel like giving homework today. Let's look at a little homework for everybody. I want you to go to the document, and I'm going to just run through the homework. I want you to make an attempt to fill it yourself. And I will explain. We've done the stages, and now I looked at this. I said identify problems in your industry, your target audience, and your niche. So if you are in the religious sector, what are the problems in the religious sector? I want you to write 13 problems down. Even if it's only 2 problems you can write down. Write the problems in your industry, and then think of 4 solutions to that. Those solutions become content. So you're going to write 13 problems, 4 solutions for this specific one. So your fashion brand, it depends on who you tailor to. So she's in the fashion industry. She tailors to women, but she's a personal stylist for women. That's it. So that's a niche, personal styling. So I want everybody to think about it. Let's just say, I've not given anybody any assignments that I will mark in class. Amaka, don't tell me that. How many of you have I given assignments that I will say, this one, we're going to continue from this assignment before? I don't used to say that, Amaka. I don't give assignments. If Amaka has her way, she's going to just choke me. But the assignment is simple. Identify problems in your industry, and I can give you examples. A problem in my industry is something we all identified earlier. People don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. I will now bring solutions. This is what you should post. A problem in my industry is people don't know how to manage their time. I will bring design options of how to manage your time. Oh, I don't know Photoshop. These are the alternatives for Photoshop. Oh, I don't know how to take pictures. I don't have a camera. This is how you take camera pictures with your phone. I'm giving you, this is, Amaka. Priye, thank you. Help me tell her. So I have 1 more minute, and I did it on time. But we will continue from here next week before we go into Instagram. Because I really want a situation where everybody leaves here with so much content that you'll be saying, which one do I want to start with? Which one do I? Mama can say I'm giving midterm test. I already told everybody that it's a marathon. We are running. We are where I've been preparing you people for a time like this. I've been preparing you for a time like this. So that when we entered Instagram, you'll not be like, DK, there's work. But if you've been doing all the work before, you will not really have a problem here. But we'll take our time and then we can sprint through the Instagram. If you understand this by Monday, I will go through the success framework. I will say this. If you fill yours before Monday, I can make a comment on yours and let you know if you are right. Should I do that? Is that not a good expo? If you fill it before Monday, I can help you out. I can look at it. I would spy it small and say, you have tried. Okay, yes. We're really running. That's why I called it a marathon. Don't worry. Next week, we're going to run a triathlon. Hey, Amaka, I hope you are ready. All right. Does anybody have questions for me? Please, if you can give me, I can stay 5 minutes with you people and answer questions that you may have. I'm willing to do that. I can stay a few minutes and answer questions. But we are making progress. This, to me, this is what you paid me for. To sit down here and tell you how to find comments, how to find content. If you are a brand that has not been posting consistently, your excuse will not be, I don't know what to post. Now you will see posts, you'll be like, I don't have time. Don't worry, I have an answer to that question already. Small, one step at a time. The assignment is this. Identify problems in your industry, your target audience, and your niche markets, and provide 4 solutions for those problems. So if you can identify, you're supposed to identify 4 problems each. You can identify for your industry. So if you're in the educational industry, the problem with educational industry is teachers don't get paid properly. The problem with the educational industry is the schools don't really support the teachers. The curriculum is too cumbersome. They do not spend enough time. You know the problems in your industry. What is the problem that your target audience are facing? Students are scared of accounting. What is the solution to the fact that students are scared of accounting? Students fail accounting. In the last year's SSC, 19% of the students failed accounting. There was a decline. So you know the problems that you're disting. Now, okay, what is the problem that the students that you're teaching specifically face? You now, and you know the funny part, I always help people do your assignments. I help you do your assignment. If you ask me a question, I will help you do your assignment. I'm a good teacher. Abisola, I'm a good teacher. So think about the problems they will face. We will talk more about it. I just want everybody to make an attempt at the problem solution framework. So if you write the problem you've decided to solve here. If my problem is I don't know what to post, because, or for Abigail, the problem, what are the problems most Christians face? I don't even understand the Bible when I read. How to read the Bible to understand. I try to cram pictures and I don't remember. How do I do this? So you are now thinking ahead of the person. For Wilson, is a security company. I don't know which products to buy. There are so many products on the shelf. Every time there's a new bed. Which one is the best for me that does not want to be? I just want something that they will fix within 2 seconds. I don't know the difference between me. If I want to buy a bell, this is what I'll be asking. Think about it. If I'm your target audience, like that woman is your target audience, ask me the difference between screwdriver and spanner. I don't know. So tell me, remove the screw and you sell a bell like that to me. That bell will sit down in my house till the day you come and install it by yourself. So you've said, people don't know how to install things. I can create content to teach them. I can create content to teach them how to install. Wilson, you've created a solution. Your solution becomes a content. I don't know how to choose a device. Say, these are the differences between the ring bells that we sell. You've created content with your solution. So think about the problems people are facing and provide solutions to this problem. Like I said, people say, I don't know what to post. the first thing I did was I asked the question, why don't people post? But I already had some answers because I already knew a few reasons why I did not post in the past. When you're thinking of this problem, especially if you're thinking as your industry, don't be very objective. Say, what I don't like about the educational sector. If I say what are the 4 things you don't like about the educational sector, you'll be able to write 4 things. There's corruption in WAEC. Okay, what is wrong with the educational sector now? WAEC office was burnt. Okay, as a parent, what is your solution? Always have your files digitalized. You scanned your documents. Oh, people don't want to get their transcripts. There are little things. Oh, is boarding school better than day school? These children are busy. You are busy. Maybe when your child is in SS3, send her into boarding school so that she is able to focus. She's in school. She's not moving from one place to the other. What are the decisions that will make me determine if I want to send my child to boarding school? As someone in the educational sector, you've created that content. Someone may be thinking, is a mixed school better than a single-sex school? You create content explaining why you believe one is better than the other. So think about your industry completely. Become that educational expert. Become that business expert. Become that security expert that is going to help the housewife that is laid back and the 2 different client audience personas that you've created. If you created 4 audience personas, then think about the different ways that those people will experience problems. I said you should create 13. If you have more, just put your tab key and add more to the table. The more you have, the better. If you do these 13 problems and 4 solutions, you have 52 weeks worth of content. That means you have 1 content a week. We have 52 weeks in a year. That means you have 1 year worth of content from just this solution problem framework. And we've not gone to the other ones. Because there can be more than 4 solutions. And if there's no more than 1 solution, tell a story. Okay, am I good to go? I think I've taken up 6 minutes. My time is up. Please, ladies and gentlemen, you have been an amazing audience. Thank you so much for always letting me be myself and teach you the best I can. Thanks for the feedback. Abisola said I'm an exceptional teacher. Hey, that coming from a teacher makes me smile. Thank you so much for the feedback. Honestly, thank you. But like I said, we will start from this problem solution framework. But if you think about it, think about the problems in your industry. If you can think about more than 4 problems, any problem you think about your industry, write it down. Of your target audience, what is the problem with the Pentecostal church? What are the things that we've taken too far? What are the things that what is the problem with religion? What is the problem with the wellness industry? What are the things that the wellness industry gets wrong? How does suicide affect the wellness industry? There is so much you can do. But if you have the brand, so this one you're not even talking about specifically for your brand. First of all, you're becoming, what I want at the end of the day is that everybody working for a brand or coming for their brand becomes an industry expert in the next 5 years, that people are coming to you to ask you to write for them. That educational boards are coming to you and saying, oh, you give exceptional content when it comes to this. Can we interview you? Because Abisola has been giving tips. So it has gone beyond teaching accounting. She has become the exceptional, the norm that other teachers are also paying attention to. And other industries are paying attention to. So thank you, everyone. Richard, you're here. Thank you so much. Priye, we'll work on your brand next time. Don't worry. But thank you, everybody, for coming today. I had an amazing time. Next, so there's no class tomorrow. So you can do your homework tomorrow. I left tomorrow. Sundays are for homework. Do your homework tomorrow. We have how many more days? 6 more days to go. By Saturday, we should finish. And any thing we don't finish, we will talk about ways that we can. You will all have amazing content. That's just it. You will have amazing content. But like I said, if you finish like 70% of all the work I have given you, between now and March, you have the opportunity to have a one-on-one session. Tolu, yeah. I didn't even know Tolu was here. Okay, please, can I know who is around? Because I'm just smiling, seeing names. You have an opportunity to book a one-on-one session with me to go through your documents with you by the end of this course. So I will give you people from now till December to fill up your documents. But between January and March, you have 3 months extension to come and have a one-on-one session with me. All right then, everyone. Thank you so much, Enna. So thank you, Timei. Thank you, Priye. Mobola, I've missed you. Abisola, my number one student that is a teacher that likes me too. Bomer, thank you. Timei, Richard, Abigail, Fortune, Mayen, everyone that came today, Wilson and Natasha. Thank you everyone for today. We'll continue with this next week. So we're not starting Instagram next week on Monday again. We'll start on Tuesday, if that's okay with everyone. But this is very important. I want everybody to leave me with at least 1 year worth of content. So by the time you come back in a year's time, people will be looking at your pages and admiring it. But I'm here to help you on the journey for the next 3 months. Oga Larry, I did not know you were present too. I hope this session was useful for the people that have been coming for churches, because I really wanted people to gain a lot. I don't want people to wait till 2021 to gain something. But I'm glad everyone has gained something. So I will call it a day. Thank you. Good night. God bless. And I will see you all on Monday. So there's no co-working session on Sundays. Emmanuel. Hey, my team Lagos is representing KBPRLC. So we'll continue on Monday. We're not meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow it's independent work. I want you to be able to catch up. But moving forward, the work will be increasing small, but it's going to be please, everybody. All right, I am off to bed. Tomorrow is church, so please, everybody. It's Lagos on lockdown. I don't know. Oh, I am glad. Larry, don't worry, we'll catch up, and then for those that are not aware, for the social media for church, and I'm going to invite everybody. On the 11th of September, this is the last announcement I'll make before I go. On the 11th of September, it's a Wednesday. We'll have finished the training by then. From 7 to 9 p.m., we are having a course called Social Media for Church. We will send out the invites and let you know how you can register. But it's a course that we are creating to tailor to churches specifically. So if you're a Christian and you're wondering how you can share content on social media also, that will be amazing, because we should just be talking about how we can fulfill the Grace Commission online. That's our focus for that training. God bless you and have a wonderful night. Thank you. Bye.